play of the game from way down.
True, silence. Rainer getting absolutely
A team wipe.
The living bombs going.
Oh my goodness, the ring. Bomb stats think we're gonna find Rainer.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Nexus Gaming Series. Tonight, we bring you Division A matchup between Wholesome, Halfwits, and Goodbye Forever. Our teams are ready to go. Sorry about the delay there. Had a little bit of a technical problem preventing me from actually getting the stream up. But let's go ahead and get into this, shall we? Here, the standings. I want to show those real quick here. Goodbye Forever currently sitting at 12 points. Wholesome, Halfwits at 8 points. So both of these teams looking for some extra points. Goodbye Forever wanting to secure that first place and break that tie with Dread Pirates. Wholesome Halfwits looking to break the tie with Virtual Murky Slayers. See if they can't pole vault all the way up to a tie with number 3 in there with Regen Retro and Team Happy Cloud. Our map bans here. From Wholesome Halfwits, the bans were on to Cursed Hollow and Sky Temple. Goodbye Forever banned out the Tomb of the Spider Queen and Towers of Doom. And our first match of the game of the series going to be played on Infernal Shrines. And look at that, just like that, we're caught up. Woohoo! You love to see it. So we're going to see the Kerrigan and Johanna band out here first on the side of Goodbye Forever. Oh, I don't have Discord. Get rid of that. And gonna be Greymane to start with. Do we see an Oriole band? Do we see a Deathwing band? These have been top level bands from teams across NGS. It is gonna be that Oriole. That leaves the Deathwing up. Is it something that Goodbye Forever wants to jump on? Bringing in the Destroyer, the World Breaker. What other names does Deathwing have? But it's going to be the Sylvanas, the first pick here for Mustache Mill. And there's the Deathwing coming in. We'll see. They don't wait on the Deathwing. They say, yeah, we want that Deathwing. Uh-oh. I mean, I'm on a delay. Okay, good. Megamuffin. I was concerned that Megamuffin was saying Deathwing, but it looks like that was before he actually was on the stream. So just the fact that it made it through. Dr. Sajelli coming in with the ETC. Megamuffin. I love seeing the chat. Like, I know what's coming. Because now we're going to see Megamuffin saying Deathwing again. All right, gonna be Anduin and Sonya. So this is, I would say, probably Sonya's best map. It's certainly one that she does very well on, having that whirlwind on the control points, killing those shrine minions, the defenders, the skeletal defenders. And so far, Goodbye Forever has the start of a very strong draft to clear the shrines, and also, if they can get the shrines, to secure themselves some extra structure value. Everything okay out there, folks? Is the sound right level and all that? I don't like. I walked away for 2 minutes. My cat screwed up everything on the system there, and I had to restart everything. So I just wanted to make sure everything's good, right? You can hear me. You can hear the music a little bit there. You can hear the, I guess, the sound effects maybe. I'm assuming that all comes through normally. Third and final band gonna be the Tyrande, and I like that a lot. The Tyrande would be a lot of extra stun potential here to combo with that ETC, and you don't want to be locked down for too long when there's a Deathwing on the other side. Thank you, Megamuffin. Appreciate it. And it's going to be Stukov, the healer pickup here. Gets those silences. That can actually be a real problem for Sonya, because if she gets silenced when she's doing that whirlwind, well, she doesn't get any healing from that. G-Money Drums coming in with the Rainer. And just the one additional DPS, so we could see some mage value. We could see like a Jaina or even a Kael'thas there to fill that up. It's gonna be Garrosh and Hanzo. Now Hanzo is to help them shred that Deathwing, I assume, most likely. We might even see, could we see Oppressor? Alright, so Deathwing's gonna play the damage role, and Blaze gonna cover for that solo lane, I imagine. Let's see, who are we missing? Flavor Flav. Oh, Garrosh. So I mean, I don't know that they'll do it, but Oppressor could be interesting. Like, being able to reduce the spell power, you'd have to walk up and hit Deathwing. But it could happen. Is it Leap Light Bomb? I don't know. Mega Muffin, does it need to be Leap Light Bomb? Maybe it's Into the Fray. Throw Sonya in with Wrath of the Berserker, and then you've got the Light Bomb there as well. Maybe that's what it is. There are several ways, in fact, all of the ways to interrupt a salvation. So I don't expect it to be a salvation. They don't have a big like Pyroblast or something like that either. So salvation, probably not the pick here. I do wonder though if Garrosh goes into that Oppressor and reduces the spell power then of Deathwing. But we'll see. It's game time. Game number 1 between Wholesome Halfwits and Goodbye Forever. Oh, I didn't do the thing. I'll try to do that here in a second. Let's get our teams introduced. On the left, it's going to be Wholesome Halfwits. We got G-Money Drums on the Rainer. Crooked Smile on the Deathwing. Tanksta playing the Blaze. Dr. Sigelli on the ETC. And Freckle Pants playing the Stukov. Over here to the right, we've got Goodbye Forever. Flava Flav going to be on that Garrosh. Newbie playing the Sonya. Mustache Mill on the Sylvanas. Thundercats Ho on Anduin. And non-champion on Hanzo. So we'll zoom out here for just a moment as we go to the poll so that we can get that started here. Gotta have the poll. Gotta understand what Twitch chat thinks. It's nice of them to just kind of stay here too. And goodbye wherever. Guys, you're leaving the screen. I need to finish this. Wholesome Halfwits. Alrighty, guys. Content doesn't, probably because it says Halfwits. There we go. Alright, who's gonna win game number 1? Is it gonna be Wholesome Halfwits on the left with this Deathwing? Or is it gonna be Garrosh carrying the Goodbye Forever on the right? Vote in chat, hit that drop down, select the team you think's gonna win, and make sure to hit vote. Otherwise, it will not record your vote. Stun's coming out. I need to sneeze. I'm gonna mute. Terribly sorry. We may see a kill on Sylvanas. We do. Alright. It didn't sneeze, so hopefully that doesn't come back later. If you guys hear me suddenly have to go AFK, that's why. I apologize. But the first kill there onto the Sylvanas, making use of that Flame Breath coming out from Deathwing to help to secure that kill, and they're going to get that bottom siege camp, are the Halfwits. ETC covering in this bush, looking to interrupt a rotation, but we're going to get that Chastise out of it into it, checking the bush, making sure that he doesn't walk into something rather unfortunate. Speaking of that said bush here, Garrosh just walking on by, gonna throw ETC over the wall, but even that throw, it's not really a great position there. ETC is able to walk around, but Flava Flav in the entire blue shirt squad is going to get taken out. Not a lot you can do there as Garrosh if you are surrounded by the entire enemy team. So Mega Muffin pointing out the surprise of the scatter arrow build here. And, you know, I assume again that that's, you know, to get that additional Giant Slayer value. Although, yeah, I don't know. The rest of your points 100% valuable, right? I mean, it's difficult to hit when you've got the shrines, when you've got the minions up, and that's where a lot of these fights are going to take place. So, goodbye forever receiving 100% of the votes. But yeah, and yeah, Rhino, I agree. But I think McMuffin's point is valid. I mean, right, little late on the rotation there for Raynor, getting caught out as the rest of the Halfwits going to get onto the point here. It's entirely possible. Entirely possible, Mega Muffin. So far, 8-3. So not quite getting the value there. The Chastise coming out just a little bit too late to connect with Garrosh's throw onto ETC. And we saw this earlier, did a replay cast as well, where in that case it was... I don't remember who the tank was anyways. But they weren't able to get the roots onto the ETC. That was a Malfurion, and they were always just a split second too late. But the silence is going to make sure that Garrosh, stuck in the World Breaker Lava Burst? Yes, the Lava Burst. The slow there is going to help to make sure that Garrosh is stunned or silenced for the rest of his life. Q build Deathwing. So it is. So it is. And you know what? This, I mean, yeah, this is a little bit more towards the mage side of things, right? Big damage from that power slide, getting the silence out there. Sylvanas is going to get taken out. We're going to see the jet propulsion coming in onto Sonya, make it 2 deaths here. And Garrosh going to throw the Raynor into the towers, getting a couple of shots there, but Flava Flav in danger here. But he's going to be able to make it out. And Dr. Sigelli on the ETC, considering Hearthing, doesn't have a lot of mana, wants to try to get that filled up here. 37-20, so they should be able to finish this off without the ETC. But not if the Shrine minions come and stall him out. And here comes the first Punisher of the game. It's going to be an Arcane Punisher. And it is going to get taken over the wall here. We do have a 4 versus 2. No, I'm sorry, Sylvanas is here too. So 4 versus 3. Sylvanas being the sole damage, but the towers and the keep fort, rather, gonna do enough damage to bring this down before too much damage can be done. So really only about 10, maybe 15% of that fort taken out. And we're gonna see Deathwing taking off into the air there as the Wholesome Halfwits rotating down onto the bot here. Let's check it out, Sonya. Sonya knows this is taking place. And Deathwing is going to land. So they have a couple of heroes here that can respond, but not quickly enough as the bottom camp is going to be picked up. And the World Breaker used there for the vision. There was no next jump. Oh, right. So let's see here. What do we got going on for 10s? Bunker, gonna be Hyperion, the Mosh Pit. I think the Mosh Pit was like easy to call. Here comes the Cataclysm looking for this Deathwing, but there's nothing here. It was a little surprising. But you know what? Check it out. We've got Burn Beneath My Shadow. So the periodic damage going to be higher, 100% more damage, but also every time they kill a fort or a keep, it's going to reset that cooldown. ETC is going to get thrown over. He's going to get the Warlord's Challenge, and that's going to be kill number 2 here for Goodbye Forever. Flava Flav going to get pulled back here. The Dragon Arrow helping to secure the stall out for Sonya, who did get away. And it is Leap for Sonya. We've got the Salvation. No F's given here. Salvation coming out. They don't care. They've got 4 heroes that can take care of that, but no big deal. Warlord's Challenge. We got the Wailing Arrow, and we already saw that Dragon's Arrow, so there you go. And right now, Wholesome Halfwits looking to continue to gather XP. They've got Blaze up in the top lane. Dr. Jelly going to knock back the Garrosh. And ETC is a good pick with the Garrosh. Of course, they picked ETC first, but it makes the Garrosh have a little bit more difficult of a time when you can just hit that face melt, knock him back. Holy Word Salvation, there are quite a few interrupts. There are indeed. In fact, there's even an extra one when they got that massive shove. But yeah, every single hero on the side of Wholesome Halfwits has a way to interrupt that, so we'll see how that goes. It's not always about getting the full duration. Sometimes you just need it for that brief moment. So it's going to depend on the reactions and who's got what abilities available. Blaze is up in the top dealing with this Shaman camp. And so far, a little bit of damage onto that wall, so neither team has gotten a fort down, but this Frozen Punisher could change that entirely. Oh yeah, I wasn't even thinking about Mosh. 4 versus 5 here. As yet, they have not got, and it is into the fray, so it's not going to be the oppressor, which is too bad. I would have liked to have seen it. Cataclysm coming in, and there's that Ground Stomp Earth Shatter, I believe it's called. Let's take a look. I think it's Earth Shatter. Hanzo's gonna hit a 4-man arrow. Flava Flav deep in there, gets the taunt. Protect getting basically full duration as the bunker going out onto Blaze there. He's gonna jet propulsion out, and that's gonna be the disengages. No ETC left. 20 to 25. It's looking like this is going to be a Frozen Punisher going over to goodbye forever. It's an interesting interaction watching from slightly above where Deathwing's throwing that Skyfall, right? You don't see that full meteor. It just shows up out of nowhere and then suddenly hits the ground. So it's interesting to see where that point of origin comes up here. But this Punisher is falling very quickly. It's really falling just as quickly as the first one did here. But because of the frozen nature of it, it's going to shut down the tower. They also have a Sylvanas, so far, they're going to get a lot more value out of this. The taunt going out onto ETC, looking to get that throw, and they get the kill. Punisher getting the work done. We are going to see continuing into the Flame Breath, Molten Flame, reducing the energy cost, so he can hold that Flame Breath for quite some time now. Mega Muffin. there are 8 different ways to interrupt Holy Word Salvation. Anduin gets full duration. God tier Anduin. And you know what? I mean, it's not easy. It's the same. I don't want to say it's the same thing as a mosh pit, because it's actually much easier to interrupt than a mosh pit. But it's the same general idea of, being aware of what interrupts are available and what are likely to be able to be used. But it's harder for the mosh, or harder than the mosh pit, because the mosh pit, a lot of those abilities would be potentially negated by using the mosh pit. No real way to do that with Anduins. If there's a knockback or a CC or anything, it's just done. So the only camp available on the map here, right here, Bruiser Camp. The next Punisher is going to be in the mid lane. It's going to be a Mortar Punisher. At least for right now, we see Goodbye Forever saying, we've got a top lane. Maybe we can rotate in on this. At least for the moment they thought that, but not anymore. They're working on getting this 16. They want to get 16 before the next objective. Possibly then take a fight if they're able to get that far enough advance of Wholesome Halfwits. But both teams now working on their Shaman camp. And that should put 16s in the hands of Goodbye Forever. soon. There they are. Deathwing down in the bottom, playing that off-lane soaker. And Hanzo going into Piercing Arrow, so not even going for the Giant Slayer. Okay. If it works for him. Now we're going to see 16 for Wholesome Halfwits as well. So it is going to be this Incinerate conflagration. So extra burst damage there, kind of like a living bomb potential, except he can put it on everybody. Everybody that takes a certain amount of damage from him gets that burst potential. But starting off here, ETC was looking for that Hanzo, but the Leap of Faith gonna allow him to get out. Sonya charging right in here, and Deathwing making use of the Cataclysm. That said, he used it a little too late to be able to get the reset. And here comes this Mortar Punisher. Shrine available. And Wholesome Halfwits have started. Deathwing making use of that World Breaker form to apply additional CC and zoning pressure, but a big arrow gonna go out onto the ETC here. The Dragonfire just not enough to deter any of that here, and Crooked Smile looks like they're gonna go down next. The throw onto Sylvanas. I thought for a second that was Sonya, but I was not hearing the Sonya leap sounds. So that's gonna give now once again Goodbye Forever the opportunity to get onto this point here. 23-4 currently on the Shrine Defenders. And Garrosh is looking. He's saying, come on in. Come on in. We will take care of you. We've got friends here. And now with this Punisher, they're going to have a Siege Camp pushing as well. Siege Camp won't be the priority target, but it's going to do extra damage. So it's going to allow the Punisher to do a little bit more pressure. Sonya's going to pick up the other Siege Camp as well. So double Siege Camp in this lane on top of this Punisher will make... I mean, this wall is going to go down so quickly after the Punisher leaps. There it goes. It is just barely on the other side. The Deathwing baiting it over here, and it is going to have the Fire Breath. Now, Sonya taking that conflagration there to... You can kind of see those little bursts of fire. ETC going to get thrown. There's that Chastise. On top of it, the Punisher saying, you don't get to play this video game. And that's going to be the first keep of the game. Hanzo's arrow going to hit the Rainer. And the penetrating round, wow, just barely knocking Garrosh back here. Garrosh walking out of the protect. Wailing Arrow is going to get the silences here, but not before they get the kill onto Anduin. And they are not done. Blaze is looking for this. Sonya gets the slow. She's going to make that leap happen over the wall. And you know what? Have you ever noticed? Have you ever really paid attention to how really wonderful the design is of that tree? That is a well-designed tree. This one too. But anyways, I promise I'm not high. It just occurred to me that that probably sounded very much like I've been token up before the match tonight. Squirtle guy saying, go Goodbye Forever, go. Well, they are looking really strong right now, but level 20s are going to be up here soon, ultimately for both teams, and I think that that'll all happen before this next shrine here. It's going to be an arcane shrine, by the way. And right now, Wholesome Halfwits looking to get the bot lane pressure equalized so that when the next Punisher comes up, hopefully for them, they can get that fort down, maybe even get a keep. But the Shaman Camp invade here is going to be successful. And that'll go down. Hold on, Sneeze coming. And we're back. And we're going to see everybody hearthing here. Now, this is unfortunate because I think they get just the Blaze? Oh, the bunker coming out. What a Wonderful time. The crater missing, but Blaze still going to be a casualty of this fight. Yeah, one more sneeze. Hold on. And we're back again. And in that time, Goodbye Forever took out that top fort, and having this Blaze killed, they're going to get bottom keep as well. And this Punisher now, if Goodbye Forever can pick this up, is going to go straight into core. And they can't even bait the Punisher over to the nearby keep, because the nearby keep is already dead. So this is a very important Punisher here for Wholesome Halfwits. If they don't get this Punisher, it could very well just be the game. It is the crater. Isn't it wonderful? And you know what? We've got the Titanic Might throwing 2 people. Could we see Sonya and then throw 2 people into the crater? I don't know why. Like, maybe you get extra value. I don't know. Just more fun, right? Here comes the Cataclysm here. Garrosh gonna go ahead and pop that Unstoppable and get away. It is the upgraded Cataclysm here, by the way. Stood in the fire, so they've got slows and additional duration for the Cataclysm. Here's the crater with a whole lot of heroes in it. Dragon's Arrow gonna come out, but Sonya just taking all that fire damage. By the way, there's a bunker in there. ETC gonna get a big mosh onto 3. We've already got the Hanzo and Sonya down. Make it the Anduin, the Sylvanas, and Flava Flav. The Garrosh gonna be the last one to fall. A 5-man team wipe as Deathwing's gonna head back and try to clear up the core. And with 40 seconds until Sonya's back up, can they do it? Wholesome Halfwits took out this bottom fort. They now have the Punisher. Deathwing has a global. He can get there. Even made use of his Cataclysm because it just got reset thanks to killing this bottom fort. 20 seconds basically. So the team will start to spawn here before Wholesome Halfwits are on the core. We do have catapults starting to get to the core of Wholesome Halfwits. And now they're going to start on this keep. Can they get there quickly enough? And here comes Garrosh. It's 5 on 5 with a nearly full Punisher, 80%. There's the Punisher jump onto Garrosh. Cataclysm used over the key, or over the core rather. Dragon's Arrow going to be out onto the area crater. There's the Sylvanas silence, and Rainer's going to get put to death. A big Warlord's challenge here onto Freckle Pants and ETC. Stukov trying to get away. There's the protect, gets the face melt. It is going to be death metal here, so ETC's trying to bait them into it. He wants to die, get in there, get the death metal, and then finish it. But Deathwing says, you know what, I'm going to burn this core. 10%, 5%, and Wholesome Halfwits pull it out. Game number 1. In such a great display. Turning that around. They started off looking really strong. The mid game turned around on them a little bit. They lost a couple of Punishers, but at the end of the game, pulling it out with a big mosh pit, with the bunker, making sure that the Ariat crater did not end up being the end of their day. Take a look at these talents here. Another aspect here, this bunker, by the way, if you didn't know, and of course you do, provides additional armor, right? 25 when you exit, 50 when you take it at level 20. And that gives you 3 seconds of 50 armor. Finchy89, thanks for the follow. Why are there weird named people following me? I'm not gonna say the name of the person that followed me 13 minutes ago. You know who you are. It kinda did, didn't it? Yeah, the light bomb probably would have provided some extra value. Whether it was the shield or even just, you know, getting those stuns on people would have been massive. Putting the stuns even onto Sonya with that area at Crater would have been pretty crazy, so... Alright. We have a puppy on the field here. But you know what? Let's go ahead and take a short commercial break as we wait to hear back from these teams and find out where we're going for game number 2. Currently 1-0 in favor of Wholesome Halfwits. We'll be right back. We're back. All right, so we've got most of our teams set up and ready to go, and we are going to be going to Braxis Holdout here. Let's take a look at our map history. Where we've been, what we're doing. Wholesome Halfwits took game number 1. That was a pick and victory on their side of things on the Infernal Shrines. But at the beginning of this, we saw the bans from Wholesome Halfwits on Cursed Hollow and Sky Temple, where Goodbye Forever said goodbye to Towers of Doom and Tomb of the Spider Queen. So we're just waiting on one final player here. Let's take a look at these standings again. So with that victory, Wholesome Halfwits now sitting at 9 points. That ties them up with Deathwing's Hookah Lounge and Beast Coast. A very tight race here in Division A. If they can score this victory on Braxis Holdout, it would be a 3-way tie for 3rd place currently between Regen Retro, Team Happy Cloud, and Wholesome Halfwits. So let's pull up the website here real quick and see how many games they've played there. Are we equal across all of this? So on that 3-way here, we've got Regen Retro 5 games, Team Happy Cloud 5 games, Wholesome Halfwits 4 games. So if they can succeed in getting a 2-0 victory over Goodbye Forever, that will tie them up across the board there, as far as the points at least. Now, dominations, Retro has 2 dominations, Happy Cloud has 3. It would give Wholesome Halfwits 3. So depending on, just at the end of the season, how things look, we'll see. Wholesome Halfwits needs more fans. Tired of being most hated NGS team. Oh, I don't think you're the most hated NGS team. I don't even think you're in the top 5 most hated NGS teams. If we're talking about historically speaking, for sure. If we're talking about current, I don't know that there are any hated NGS teams. I think that this season overall has been decidedly non-toxic. I say that now. We're in week technically 5. Just over the halfway mark, so who knows? There could be craziness, but at least right now things look pretty good. I like how things have been going for the season so far. Looks like we are ready to get this started for Braxis Holdout. We've got the countdowns. Hey, you want to say hi to everybody? Yeah, there you go. There you go. I've already got a short list of 3 or 4 in front of you. See, there you go. There you go. Rackham already knows that there are 3 or 4 teams that are definitely at the top of that list. All right, we're going to start off with the Oriole ban. Now, first pick is over to Wholesome Halfwits here, as this was the map selection from Goodbye Forever. Now, every time I see them say, you know, GF is ready, every time, I'm like, why do we care that your girlfriend's ready? Unless, of course, your girlfriend's in the game, and then, in which case, that makes all the difference. We're going to see the ban onto Rexar. They don't want to deal with the Rexar. And Greymane continuing to be the ban here for the Wholesome Halfwits. Mega Muffin super excited about the Braxis. You'll love to see it. Pardon me for getting the gunk out of my dog's face here. There we go. Much better. Sylvanas going to be the final ban here. Which makes a lot of sense. This is another map where the objective is really strong. And we're going to see a second game with Deathwing coming in. Now, is Deathwing going to go that same build? I don't know. Mega Muffin, Goodbye Forever is now my #1 favorite Div A team. Feels bad coming from a Beast Coast player, right? Right? You'd think maybe they'd be maybe the #2 favorite Div A team. But ETC going to switch sides, going over to Goodbye Forever this time. That's going to give that presumably mosh pit, but it could be a stage dive. Deathwing goes through twice. Isn't it crazy? You know what, Mega Muffin? I watched, including... So we had our games. Neither team picked or banned Deathwing. And I think we had a game... I think we had a couple games yesterday, and I don't think we saw him, so... Yeah. Let's see. Flava Flav has the ETC non-champion pulling out that Gul'dan. We didn't even talk about Gul'dan. Gul'dan is great for the objective, burning the objective quickly, but also, I mean, he's just great poke for the for the points. You know, it's hard to stand on that point when you are just consistently losing your health. Jaina gonna be the third and final ban from Goodbye Forever. And what do we see out of Wholesome Halfwits? We don't have a healer yet. We could see a Banduin. What else do they not want to see in the solo lane? Possibly a Chen. Maybe a Sonya. They played Sonya last round. Sonya could be really strong here. Maybe even a Urel. And it's going to be Banduin. Legit was just writing down Banduin in my notebook instead of Anduin. Feels good. So coming up at 10 o'clock, we've got Better Than Bots and Can't Counterpick Stupid, a C West matchup. There's the Sonya, and it's going to be Lucio the pick, the Thundercats. So that's going to help them with faster rotations between bot and top to help out the Sonya if they want to try to get a gank, or if they just simply need to cover. Lucio can make that rotation very quickly. And there's the Kael'thas Leoric. So I thought that Kael'thas might have made an appearance in game #1. But he did not. Instead, it was the Raynor. This time, we're going to see the Kael'thas. And the Leoric. So Leoric versus Sonya, both of them have the potential to heal off of their enemies. So I think that's kind of a coin flip. Who's the better player? Mustache Mill going to bring in the Zul'jin at the last pick here into the Johanna. So is going to have that blind potential here. Holy cow. Guys, there's an emotes only chat option? I didn't know that was a thing. Huh. Better TV settings. I wonder what those are. All right, well, anyways, it's not Cricket Smile on KT. Does G Money also only pick Convection? I guess we'll find out. All right, game number 1 between Wholesome Halfwits and Goodbye Forever. Who's gonna win this game? I'm sorry, game number 2. We already saw game number 1. That's what I get for reading the name of the last poll. Goodbye Forever. Let's see. Wholesome Halfwits. Yes. Okay, cool. All right. The poll is up in chat. Who do you think's going to win game number 2? Is it going to be our red team looking to score the first point in this match for them? It's Goodbye Forever. It's going to be Thundercats playing Lucio. Wait, I didn't get the pop-ups. There we go. It's going to be non-champion on Gul'dan, Flava Flav on the ETC, Mustache Mill on Zul'jin, and Sonya going to be played by Newbie. And over here to the left, looking to take this into a 2-0 domination, it's Wholesome Halfwits. Dr. Sajali playing Johanna. I'm on the wrong page. There we go. Well, you still saw most of that. Dr. Sajali on Johanna. Crooked Smile playing the Deathwing. G Money Drums here on the Kael'thas. Freckle Pants on the Ana. And up in the top, it's Leoric played by Tanksta. And the survey says it's Mana Addict. No Convection today. So far, we've got the Recklessness for the Zul'jin. Now he's gonna just barely dodge spreading that Living Bomb there. Once again, the War Paint for Sonya. Party Mix here for the Lucio. Prog Rock there on the ETC. And Echoed Corruption here for Gul'dan. We also have got that Iron Skin helping with the additional shields and cooldown reduction. Mana Addict, we mentioned earlier. Dragon Soul here for Deathwing, getting that additional healing. The Biotic Grenade, contact healing, 30% more healing based on the number of heroes that are hit, and Ocean Renewal for Leoric, helping him in that sustained battle against the Sonya. That's Headhunter, says Mega Muffin. Indeed it is. Now, Leoric here getting that drain out. Whirlwind helping to sustain Sonya through it. Both heroes very low, but the cooldown on the Whirlwind appears to be a little bit shorter. 75% saying Goodbye Forever. They think they've got it in them to take this to a game 3. And Dr. Sajeli getting very low here, has to pull back. Zul'jin sitting at 4 stacks currently. Party Mix making its way about a third of the way to completion. And now the channel gonna begin for Goodbye Forever. They're gonna about 10% before Leoric makes it onto the point. Will flip that at the 18% mark. Currently sitting at 3-3 now. We do see their Deathwing going into the Destroyer form, so he's gonna have a little bit different abilities, a little bit closer, wants to be up in the face of these heroes now. Has the Incinerate that we just saw, but also, I don't know what his Dragon's Lunge thing is. I guess we could look. ETC gonna get put to sleep there. He's got the Living Bomb on him now, has to be a little bit careful of his team. Well, let's take a look at Deathwing. What is that ability? Onslaught. There we go. Now we know what it's called. Channel once again picked up here as Sonya getting onto the point, pushing Leoric all the way off at only about 50 hit. Never mind. At dead. Slam coming in to get that kill. And this is looking like it's going to be all about Goodbye Forever. We do have a small channel here, 2% here. So if I'm not mistaken, we're going to see this is going to zoom up to, yeah, 18%. So 18% is the minimum. Anything that you get under 18% just gives you the 18%. And we see the pings calling out that they're on their way. G Money Drums is going to make his way up to help the Zerg clear. Now it looks like Sonya's going to go back, tap. Can't really be too aggressive into that Leoric Kael'thas combo, but, well, that's why. But Leoric already pretty low anyways, so is going to have to Hearth back here. But with the 4 versus 3 in the bot lane, Goodbye Forever making use of this push. They're pushing opposite of the Zerg wave, as the Zerg threat rather, has been eliminated. The power slide onto the Iron Skin, so just a little bit of damage soaked up by the shield. And G Money Drums on the way back down is going to rejoin the team here. And here comes that Cataclysm. Not a whole lot of value there. Basically just an engage tool in this case for the dragon to get in on the team. Now it'll be interesting to see, does Deathwing go back into the shadow thing, the thing that upgrades his Cataclysm? Is that the direction that you go? Won't have the same ability to get resets. There just aren't as many forts and keeps on a map like Braxis. They may all very well go down still in any given match, so we'll see. But really you get that extra 100% damage, and then of course later the slow and duration, so we may yet see it. This time it's going to be Sonya here that's pretty low, as Leoric just sitting pretty. Has full health, full mana, and it's going to be Sonya taking the chance to Hearth back. And Zul'jin now sitting at 12 stacks. Dr. Sigeli getting knocked back. Doesn't have Iron Skin just yet, but is going to be able to make it out. And will Hearth right at the base of that fort. But with no tank here, that's going to give Goodbye Forever the opportunity to make their way in here. Let's check in on this fight between Leoric and Sonya. Does get the spooky hand onto Sonya. She's spinning to win. That's what I get for checking the solo lane. Deathwing died down here, guys. Gul'dan getting that sustained damage. ETC going in. Doesn't have any minions, so is taking tower shots. Gonna get stunned. We caught that one. See, this is why. Look at this fight. You know that this fight was just incredible. It was so close. Deathwing could be coming down at any moment here, but it's not going to matter. Sonya's going to get that kill onto Leoric. So Deathwing at least is going to be able to gather that soak in the top lane. And start the control point as well. Lucio able to scout this out, knows that they're over here. So at least providing a little bit of zoning potential here for the team to maintain this control point. But it's going to be Goodbye Forever already half a level away from number 10. Hinting for kills. Unsuccessful. Oh, yeah. Oh, man. So 3v3 here in the bot, as the siege camp is going to provide a little bit of armor penetration as well. And it's going to be ETC. Did I? Okay, no. Just the sound. I was going to say, did I? We need to listen to this mosh pit, because I think this is a different like music for the mosh pit I've heard for this version. I don't have this ETC skin, so I'm sad. So we'll see. I want to hear it. We do have the mosh pit. We have the Horrified. We got Taz Dingo. It's gonna be Sound Barrier and Sonya not yet selecting hers. I kind of expected to be Wrath. Maybe? I don't know. I guess you could leap onto the Ana or the Kael'thas. So Zerg Wave this time 100% going over for Wholesome Halfwits. And this is in the top lane, just like we saw Goodbye Forevers earlier. So we've got that Living Bomb onto the ETC, the Earth Shatter from Dragon. Oh, it is a different sound. But anyways, that was the mosh pit. Probably a misclick, because that was 100 miles away from the nearest anything. And Flava Flav here trying to now step away from the Zerg, taking a bunch of damage. The Fire Breath coming out onto Zul'jin, so does not have the Taz Dingo anymore. It's just going to be the Leap and the Horrify left available for Goodbye Forever, as Wholesome Halfwits will take down the fort in the top lane. But all the while, the Zerg, that minimal Zerg wave, taking down a fort in the bot lane. That will eventually die. And we're gonna see Goodbye Forever looking to come in right here. A little bit slightly different positioning from the Deathwing there, and that would have been a 5-man stun, but we're going to see that Pyro going out onto Zul'jin. Frecklepants just barely getting out of that Entomb. Oh my goodness, that was so close to bad news for their own team. Blessed Shield is available here, so we'll see when that gets used. Probably here pretty soon if they want to keep this fight going, but ultimately they're just going to push them away. That was about as close of an Entomb as you could possibly have had. Just barely keeping Ana alive, nearly securing her death. But the Hearth coming out from ETC. 27 seconds until Mosh here. We see Sonya looking for some damage onto the Johanna. Take a look at these damage stats, shall we? We'll put those up for a little bit. And down here at the bot, Leoric doing his best, trying to clear out this camp. It's going to take a little bit of time. He's not super great with that camp clear. Does have Neopeasants? Does in fact have Neopeasants, so that does help. 100% additional damage every time he throws out one of those skeletal swings. And now they're going to have a siege camp going in that lane along with them. Kael'thas completing Mana Addict will have that extra shielding. Just about 10 minutes into the game, level 12. And Sonya's going to work on that siege camp here in the top lane. Going to get that sent out, and now going to rotate down to deal with the Leoric and the siege camp in the bot lane. And this camp is, I think, the only way in the game to reduce the armor of structures. So that's a pretty value camp overall. Actually, that's not true. I think the null camps do as well. And they're worse because they cleave. Level 13's up here for Wholesome Halfwits. Here comes the Cataclysm. It's going to separate a little bit on the team here. And Gul'dan's just going to walk right through it. Oh man, what a stun. ETC's going to get the Mosh onto 2, but going to get put to sleep for the interrupt. Dr. Sigeli could be in danger. Does he have the Iron Skin to get out? Does have the Iron Skin. Makes use of that faster movement speed for the Condemn level 4. And the Sound Barrier negating the Pyroblast onto Gul'dan. But here's the Entomb. They get the sleep, and the channel going over to Goodbye Forever. The kill onto Gul'dan. Leap coming out, looking for the Kael'thas. ETC's going to get the Power Slide in as well. Newbie trying to disengage is not super healthy. But neither is ETC. And now, Goodbye Forever looking like they may be in a lot of danger here, as Newbie's going to be the first one to fall. Looks like ETC's going to make it out here in a little bit of a danger hearth, but nobody's following, so they're going to be able to stop the channel. 46% picked up for Goodbye Forever. And let's take a look at the 13 talents. Oops. They're already up. Never mind. You guys have been looking at that for the whole time. We're going to see the rotation coming in. And we've got Barco Polo, the mount there for Leoric. Feels good. Oh, and you get to hear him yip and bark. It's so adorable. I really do sound like I'm high, guys. Holy cow. But so far, now 58% for Goodbye Forever. This Zerg wave is in the safer lanes for both teams here. They both have forts in these lanes. At least for now. And we're going to see the rotation coming from Goodbye Forever. They're going to try to make sure that they don't lose that fort that I was just talking about. There goes that Earth Shatter. And it is going to continue to be that Q build for Crooked Smile on the Deathwing. And the Lava Burst there, again, provides a pretty significant slow. Not a lot of damage, but it's still a lot of value. If you can slow people down, you get your Flame Breath on them, then that's where you're going to see your damage. Speaking of that Flame Breath, oh, never mind, Earth Shatter. Channel beginning now for Wholesome Halfwits. Dr. Sigeli getting that Condemn onto 2. Did try to get that Punish out to slow them down. But Cataclysm is going to isolate a little bit on the team once again here, separating them out. Gravity Lapse hitting the Zul'jin, and ETC might be looking for this Mosh here. But again, it has to be a little bit careful because there are multiple ways for that Mosh to be interrupted. But the channel being picked up now by Wholesome Halfwits. Mustache Mill here, sitting about half health, looking for some additional kills. There's the Horrify onto the Johanna. She pops the Unstoppable at the end of it there. Nano Boost going out onto Kael'thas below here. Does get the Gravity Lapse, but taking all that corruption damage. Has to pop the shield, because that was basically a full health bar of damage onto the Kael'thas. Ana doing a good job of keeping him alive. But there's the Sleep Dart onto ETC as well. The Mosh Pit going out does not hit any heroes. Very close to hitting the Deathwing, but Deathwing is immune, so it doesn't matter. But the channel, 86% here for Wholesome Halfwits. Gonna be 100% for Goodbye Forever. As the Zerg making it on. Now, Zul'jin looking, wants to see if he can't keep that auto attack movement speed going so he can catch up to the Deathwing. But it's just not quite enough to get there. Level 16's now on the board for Wholesome Halfwits as the Zerg heading into their top fort. Now, bottom fort as well has Zerg coming into the lane, but they're going to get stalled out because the Zerg prefer killing heroes as opposed to structures. So up in the top lane, fort down, Zerg nearly taken out here. Bottom fort was retained by Goodbye Forever, so definitely the value here in favor of Goodbye Forever. And we do see a bit of a bush play here, but not really in a fantastic spot, especially with the Deathwing having that lava burst. We're just going to see the teams rotating onto their various bruiser camps. Next up, coming in onto the siege camps. Are we going to get both of them? They're holding the spots. ETC's going to be coming in here soon. There's the power slide. No mosh pit available just yet, but it's coming up in a couple seconds, and ETC's pretty far in there, so could be looking. There's the mosh pit onto, well, technically 3. Deathwing doesn't really count, though. Pyroblast onto ETC. Now, ETC did have that 25 armor from his base trait ability here, but the red team coming in through that Cataclysm. And Mustache Mill here does have Taz Dingo, so in a moment, expect to see that. But the Horrify going out, separating the team from their intended kills. So no deaths from that engagement. And we've had a few of those. Very, very close. Leoric up in the top lane here, though. Did get the rotation up to help pressure the bruiser camp up here. What was left of it, at least. Are they going to pull this boss? Are they trying to throw this game? Is that what's happened? Well, I mean, they got Deathwing. So there's literally no way that they can get Deathwing off this point unless they kill him. Alright, so they're pulling back away. The boss is still fairly low here, so it's got to get leashed. But they're going to get the kill maybe onto the ETC? Or he just barely makes it out. So it looks like he's okay here. Leap going out onto the Deathwing. Deathwing's falling very low here, getting the slams. Tanksta gonna go down, as is the Deathwing, and that's gonna be a boss going over to Goodbye Forever here. The damage going out on a Kael'thas, the big gravity lapse gonna keep Kael'thas alive, but Johanna gonna sacrifice her life to make sure that Kael'thas lives. And nothing personal against our good friend Kael'thas, but I'm not sure that that was a worth trade. So the boss throw pit is real, and we're gonna see this. I mean, this is a full channel as well, and these are gonna be in opposite lanes. At very best, this is gonna be double keeps. I think that's what I expect. Double keeps. And worst case scenario is that Wholesome Halfwits might actually lose the game out of this. Johanna's still down for 14 seconds here. ETC does get the power slide onto the Leoric, but he's Leoric, he's unstoppable doing that Wraith Walk. The boss still sitting at 80% health here. So the clear is going to be allowed as Goodbye Forever is going to make the rotation down into the bot lane, start the minion wave, and get this tower down. And the Zerg will be here soon. This is going to be, again, this is for sure a keep. So it just depends here. Neither team are level 20, so we're still on the same talent tier. But if Goodbye Forever can get a kill or two, they may find themselves getting that level 20. And we see the Wraithwalk here from Leoric trying to slow down the damage potential. But there's the Leoric getting horrified. That's a quick kill. Dr. Sigelli in the middle of the full team here. Newbie having to pull back, the sound barrier going out to keep the team nice and healthy. The keep is down. Still just a little bit less than half of the Zerg wave as level 20 is coming up very soon for Goodbye Forever. This is looking very, very strong for them. And there's not a lot that it feels like Wholesome Halfwits can do. We're going to see the Pyroblast going out onto the Sonya here, so she's going to take it out. But it doesn't matter. Goodbye Forever pulling off the victory, getting themselves another point. And I think that puts them officially over Dread Pirates now in the standings with that additional point. 4 kills to 7. Look at that. 4 kills to 7 on Braxis Holdout, one of the most brawly maps in the game. So there you go, folks. Really? Alice isn't as appreciative of the number of kills here. I really can't understand why they went for boss. Yeah, I mean, I think I said it at the time, but you know, it was such a, it was, I mean, they were right there, and it's not like they have amazing boss burn either. I mean, they didn't have like a Greymane Sylvanas like Vala Hungering Arrow build or something like that. So it was super risky with the team so very close. I think they were just kind of banking on the Deathwing being able to stand on the point, but they were just too late on that. And I think that if you're going to do that, you almost have to have Bellowing Roar so that Deathwing can stand on the point, get the point, and then get out. Did they go Bellowing? They didn't, right? Yeah, okay, I didn't think so. I don't think I actually talked about the heroics there. Alrighty, so we're going to be late for game number 3, or not game number 3, but for match number 2. A little bit late. Reed, that's a good point. Yeah, Squirtle guy, good point. Let's get the, in fact, speaking of points, let's give the point over to Goodbye Forever. All right, this next pick was Alterac Pass. It was selected by Goodbye Forever as Wholesome Halfwits, elected for first pick. Boredom. Cricket's about like, there's nothing to do on the map. Let's go get the boss. It's right there. It's taunting us. It's teasing us. We gotta get it. All right, just letting the teams know that we're all set and ready here. Let's make sure that we take notes on who we're getting from last round here. Let's see, so we had Johanna, Kale, man, oh man. Best of 3 series, Division A. Wholesome Halfwits, Goodbye Forever. Goodbye Forever sitting at, you know what, let's take a look at those standings again, actually. So Goodbye Forever, with that point, will take the first place over Dread Pirates. Wholesome Halfwits still sitting at the 9-point mark. So they're going to be tied for 5th as of right now. An additional point would secure their 5th place over Deathwing's Hookah Lounge and Beast Coast. Whereas an additional point for Goodbye Forever would just give him a little bit better first place. So there you go. All right, so it's not going to surprise me if Deathwing makes it through again because it hasn't been banned yet. But I feel like this is a really good map for Deathwing. I think that Deathwing here, you tend to fight over these very small areas. They're open, they're open, but they're tightly packed with prison camps in the middle of these, small little corridors and what have you. So it wouldn't surprise me if we see the Deathwing picked if it's not banned. But I mean, I think it's likely we see it banned. I think at this point that even if they feel like they can deal with it, that it's just better to get rid of it. Get rid of it at this point. So maybe a Sylvanas Deathwing bans? That's what I would go for in this circumstance. We'll see if they agree with me. There's the one. All right, let's see. Do I get 100%? So Oriole, who else was? Greymane was out there. They don't like the Greymane, so that Greymane's probably going to be gone. Especially if they're thinking they still might go with the Deathwing. If they don't ban the Greymane, I kind of wonder if Goodbye... I don't think Goodbye Forever bans the Deathwing then. I mean, they may not anyways. They're going to ban out the Garrosh, so... Okay. So no ban onto Greymane, which means that if they do take the Deathwing, Greymane is still going to provide a lot of burst damage into that Deathwing. What do you guys think? It's going to be Johanna. So Deathwing makes it all the way through again. And this time, a little bit longer, taking some time, evaluating their options. Alterac Pass has the potential to really snowball against your opponent. So they want to be able to pick heroes that they can get the prison camps. They want to be able to... Oh, there you go. There's the reason that they didn't ban the Greymane. They wanted the Greymane. Makes sense. Makes sense. If you're going to be the first pick, you don't want to ban that out. If you're going to take it. Yeah, okay. So ETC gonna be the pick, and not wanting to allow for the ban to win this time. Anduin's gonna make it back in. Flava Flav gonna be on that ETC that we saw last round. And this is gonna sound like I'm throwing shade. I'm not throwing shade, but I hope we see some better Mashas out of this one. We had a few misfires on that last game. A couple of good ones. But so far, there's no Deathwing either, so... Crooked Smile going to be on the fall stat, so Deathwing is not likely to be picked for Wholesome Halfwits. We got that Blaze going back onto the Blaze. Worked well for them in game one. Had some great bunkers. Third and final ban of the night, going to be the Tyrande. And you know what? We saw them ban Tyrande in first game when they had the ETC on the side of Wholesome Halfwits. So, in all seriousness, Blaze can set those up just as well. But our tanks are getting a little limited here at this point. Are we going to see a Mal'Ganis coming out for Dr. Sigeli? Is it going to be a Tyrael? There's the Sonya ban, so Sonya's been played a couple games. They don't want to see her anymore. Squirtle saying, yeah, he's easy to play against. I mean, he still has a really high win rate, though. So, all right, to couple with the ETC and Anduin, which are we going to see like a Jaina? Are we going to see a Li Ming? Oh, there's the Tyrael. So we're going to see the Tyrael option taken away. Our tank choke is going hard here. I think it's Mal'Ganis. I think it's likely Mal'Ganis. Could be a Nubrak. Nubrak could also be a really good option here. Might be a little bit difficult into the boss, so... But Mal'Ganis is difficult into ETC. Could they even just go Stitches? I mean, as long as we're throwing tanks out. What's it going to be, Dr. Sigelli? Oh, of course. I was thinking of all the tanks. I wasn't thinking of the support tanks. Fair enough. Good call. Nailed it. Let's see. I hope. Why, Valkymer? Why do you want to? You guys are waiting on me. Why do you want it to be a long match? Chromie gonna be the pickup from non-champion, and we have our full draft here, folks. Falstad, Anna, Blaze, Greymane, and Uther, not the Butcher. I still don't understand why it thinks that that's acceptable. But let's take a look. Who do you guys think is going to win game number 3? Who wins game number 3? Is it going to be Wholesome Halfwits? Or is it going to be Goodbye Forever? Vote in chat. Hit that drop down, select the team that you think is going to win or that you want to win, or you know what, just pick a team. Roll a die. If it's odds, pick one team. If it's even, pick the other team. I don't care. Just have some votes. Show some love for these teams. They're out here playing late on a Saturday night. It's almost 10 o'clock, and it's time for the game, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get this going. It's Wholesome Halfwits versus Goodbye Forever. We're going to start with Goodbye Forever because that's where we loaded. It's going to be Mustache Mill on Vala, Thundercats on the Anduin, non-champion playing the Chromie, Newbie going to be playing that Tyrael, and Flava Flav on the ETC. And on the left, it's Wholesome Halfwits. We've got Crooked Smile playing the Falstad, Tanksta on the Blaze, Dr. Sigelli on the Uther, Freckle Pants playing the Anna, and G Money Drums coming in on that Greymane. And it's game number 3. Whoever wins this game goes home with the prom queen? I don't know. Hey, Red with the community subs to Mega Muffin and Wipeout and Lupus and Zoltos. As we see the push in onto the bottom tower. Not quite able to get it. It's very close. Maybe this fire's enough to do it. And who else? Rodney with the sub as well. So enjoy, everybody, enjoy your new emotes. Got a variety of puppies and of course the Regen Phoenix. Red, my additional captain, I guess you could say, co-captain of Regen Phoenix. Officially on the NGS website, she's got the captain tag though, so there you go. All right, Blaze versus Tyrael in the bot lane. I have no idea how this match goes up because I don't see a whole lot of Tyrael. We're at a minute mark, and Greymane going to the camp is going to get things started here. We see Goodbye Forever taking a lot of the votes. 4 votes to 1, 80%. But is it going to be? Oh, Falstad just barely getting that dive out. Flava Flav was looking for it, but didn't quite have the positioning for the power slide. Vala versus Anduin here. Have I even shown these talents? Let's take a look at these talents here. Anything exciting? It's not going to be new habits for Blaze instead. Okay, so they did get the kill on the Falstad. That's what I get for looking at the talents. Bold strategy out of Anduin. We're going to see the Prog Rock. Also, the Ardent Restoration here. I don't even... What does this do? Interesting. Okay, so he heals himself by dealing damage to other heroes. Again, I don't play a lot of Tyrael, so there you go. Tyrael can negate Blaze's wave clear. Tyrael wins. All right, fair enough. That's true because he's got the shields. Yeah, we'll see. Just kidding, you took the wrong one talent. Okay. Instead of taking the shield. Well, maybe looking more for the team fights over these control points, but with the camp here earlier and the pressure coming out from Vala, we're going to see this full wall and one tower, soon to be a second tower going down. Blaze going to come up. They're going to get this kill onto the Vala thanks to that jet propulsion Pyromania used as well to get a little bit of extra damage there and also give Blaze that 40 armor. First blood was the Falstad. First blood for the Goodbye Forever. No, that's the other way around. Sorry. First blood for Wholesome Halfwits was the Vala. So we're equal. Newbie just barely making it out there with 100 health. You can see over here. Look at that. And we do have the meltdown here from Blaze. So Uther though in a bit of danger here. Has the heal coming in from Ana and not quite enough to lock him down. Excuse me 1 second. All right, hopefully that silenced her. Prison camps being largely ignored here as both teams gonna make their way over to the siege camps. Want to have those pushing while they try to get in and fight. Chromie setting up time traps everywhere. Definitely will know in the event anybody makes it over here, and Dr. Zajelli is looking for it. There's the stun onto Tyrael. Is going to make use of Eldruin there to get away here. Falstad looking to clear out the minions as Ana and Greymane both are going to get time trapped there. But the channel will complete. So wait. Did that not stop the channel? Did it just pause it? I gotta see that on the replay. Because it looked like the time trap just paused it instead of stopping it entirely there. Chastise going out, doesn't hit anything. We're gonna see the Blaze popping that Pyromania, trying to drop the damage of the teams here. But Blaze is falling very low, does get that heal, so is gonna be able to get out, but Greymane not so lucky as the power slide coming in. We're going to see the channel stalled. And yeah, no, it didn't stall it at all. Or stop it at all. It just paused it for that brief moment here. Falstad going to get the cleanse, the Hand of Protection, which allowed him to get that barrel roll. And now the channel begins here. Only 3 seconds left for Wholesome Halfwits to push in. So we'll have to see here. Are they able to defend? They are, it looks like. Maybe. Tyrael's pretty far away, so this should be able to be a defense. And they're going to make their way in. Chromie does have the slowing sands. And there it goes. So it's going to be very difficult for them to make their way through that point. Yeah, okay, she changed her mind. She's not done. Dr. Evil, thanks for the subscription. Very much appreciated here. And once again, we're going to see the teams electing to focus on getting their XP moving forward here. Falstad and Uther trying to zone out the teams here, but we're going to get 4 into 2 as Greymane and Ana went back to get that siege camp here. Now the slowing sands again at the front. The Falstad stall here. It's 5 versus 2. Blaze is in the lane, and there goes the siege camp in the mid. The stall coming out from Uther. Still about 2/3 of a level of a lead for Goodbye Forever. There's ETC. Gonna get stunned here. Gonna hit that face melt, knock the team back. And Uther getting very low, has to pull back. Almost had the time trap there as well. But we've got Greymane pushing back here. We're gonna get, once again, the stall. Hey, chill. Just a parting bark there for everybody. Just letting our teams know that we'll be starting a little bit late. And G Money Drums is trying to get this, but Chromie can stall this out for basically forever. So they're going to have to find a way to get some kills before they can really push in onto that. As long as there's vision, Chromie can hit the targets, and she's at 24 stacks here. So it's just the 2 shots, but doing that a few times will give Chromie that 3rd clone, and there you go. Can't wait for judgment from Tyrael. Fair enough. Preferably into the mosh pit, right? But it is Sanctification. We also have the Rain of Vengeance. Power Slide going in, looking for the Uther. Uther is surrounded here. He can't really get out, but never mind. The Jet Propulsion is going to allow him to get out. Still the potential for a mosh. Like, there's no gust. There's no real way that they could stop it. They could have taken both of those heroes out, but they get the channel. And the Siege Camp is going to get picked up here by Wholesome Halfwits. So the first Ram Riders, Wolf Riders rather, for this case, coming onto the map in favor of Goodbye Forever. Definitely not Judgment. 10 minutes, or level 10 before we get our first objective. It was very close. Wholesome Halfwits was only 3 seconds away from being able to secure the first one. Yeah, probably. Let me go flip over to that real quick. Let's see, turn that to... There we go. Yeah, sorry about that. I just turned it on to Do Not Disturb, so that should cover that here. The mid fort is going to go down from the first Wolf Rider. Gosh, whatever they are, the objective. And they're going to get a lot of push here. The slowing sands into the middle of this wall is going to make it very difficult for anybody to come through. Uther's going to take shots to the face. And what do we got here? So the jet propulsion... Huh, okay. Got time trapped is what happened there. So it is going to be Hinterland's Blast. And also Gathering Storm here for Falstad. Didn't really mention that earlier, but there's the jet propulsion onto the Tyrael. The stun coming out from Uther. Greymane looking, but can't quite get the job finished there as the camp in the mid picked up now by the rest of the team for Goodbye Forever here. Blaze on the wrong side of Tyrael as Chromie's going to get some bombs here. Bunker going out. The Chastise used. And Blaze now just fine. Blaze is just fine. Everything's cool. And we do have the Salvation again. So an interesting, option here, having the Uther, the Blaze, and Ana. But we saw in game 1, they did the same thing, and it worked out for them. So we'll see how it works out in game number 2, or 3, the second time they took it here. And this looks like here's Mosh Pit coming in. Oh, it gets put to sleep at just the right moment. ETC there. Dr. Sagelli calling it, saying no. Jet Propulsion, there's the sleep as well here. The Sanctification, but there's the Mosh Pit. Cannot put that one to sleep. And Dr. Sagelli agreeing. Says, okay, if you're gonna go through all of that, I'll allow it. But with those 2 kills, Goodbye Forever going to make their way onto the boss. And they'll be able to get that pressure going and very likely get up to the prison camp here. We see the retreat pings. I assume that must have been from the left side. Sanct Mosh, we call that Holy Cow. I thought that was Divine Shield Mosh. Divine Bovine. Ah, they're just doing all kinds of the standards here. Now this boss in the bot lane will take out that keep, like, for sure. So that's gonna need to be taken care of. This top boss, however, is not gonna get very far. In fact, it might not even get anything. Eldruin coming in, they're gonna have... Never mind. They don't have Holy Ground. Put to sleep was the Tyrael, and the boss getting the double kill. I guess Blaze got the kill, whatever. It knocked out the Vala, securing the double kill. And that now gives Wholesome Halfwits some breathing room here to maybe get in onto the to get the objective started. I think that they need to start that if they can. Chromie doesn't have that same position where she can just bomb forever from safety, so Falstad's going to work on clearing the boss so that he doesn't have to worry about losing that keep. And the advantage here over to Wholesome Halfwits. They're going to get the Blaze stun coming in. Stun from something. Anyways, Chromie is going to get pulled out. And, oh, it was, I see. The Protect was interrupted. That's what it was. Jet Propulsion going in, gets stopped by the Chastise. ETC's going to get the knockback. Dr. Sigeli looking very low, is going to be in the mosh by himself. Sanctification is going to allow Uther to be taken out. Flava Flav looking for the Blazes. Greymane going in onto the Vala here. The camp was retaken thanks to the minions here. Flava Flav gonna fall to the cursed bullet with almost no health, just helping to secure it here. Greymane going in after the Anduin, pushing him back, and it's still now a 4v3. The Hinterlands blast with the nano boost, securing the kill onto the Vala. And now we've got still a 4v3, but they're gonna go clear up the lanes, so might lose the channel here. Looks like they will. They will. So good on Tyrael here, bringing back the rest of the team. They're going to get things started back up. Level 16's available here for Wholesome Halfwits. Currently down in structures 2-1. But that may change here. Falstad's got to clear up this lane so that the cavalry can get a little bit farther ahead into the lane. Nano Blast, exactly. Uther going to get the stun onto the ETC, but it's just enough to make him get dismounted. This is still, now this is a 4v5 here, opening up the lane so that that slowing sands isn't quite as oppressive to them. And now the Ram Riders are all about equal here, although again the mid lane hitting pretty early, the bot lane hitting pretty early. Falstad's going to try to clear that out. Never mind, he's going to come up top here, so he did a little bit of work on that. Mid's going to get taken out, so the bottom Ram Rider probably will get that bottom fort, unless something crazy happens up here at top. But it's not going to make it all the way to the keep. In fact, even the top lane here, almost 90% of its health was taken out before it got to that keep wall. Hey, Megan420, good evening, welcome to the show. It's been a few days since I've seen you. Glad you could stop in tonight. So far, not a lot of value. They did get the bottom fort, so that equalizes them in the overall structure race. And now they're going to make their way in with this, but all of the ultimates are up. So they got to be very careful, spread out to make sure that they don't get that big mosh. And at least for right now, they said, you know what? That's most of that fort. We'll come back for it later. And there's still, I mean, there's a huge wave down here. This is a ton of X. This is like a full level of XP practically. And by a full level, I mean like a quarter of a level. It's close. Hey, and it's, I don't remember how you say that. It's max. You're about to cast my game. Oh, well then there you go. Well, I'm even more glad that she could show up. So I suppose you have a good reason to be here then. Game coming up. Good reason to watch so that we know what's going on here. Days heresy, right? How could people not be here every single day? I think there might have been a day that I didn't cast this week. I'm not sure which one it was. I might actually be, if it was probably Tuesday. No, I think I cast a game Tuesday. Never mind. I think I've cast every day this week. But anyways, rotation coming in. We don't want to see another boss throw here, and this would be the place for it. That Sanctification Mosh would be a very big problem if they were trying to hold on to that point. They don't have a gust, so there's there's no boss control. So they pull back. They learned their lesson from game number 2. That ended the game for them. And right here, right now at level 18, it would probably do the same. A boss plus the pressure in the mid lane. Yeah. And at this point here, Wholesome Halfwits is in the lead on the way to 20. So if they can stall out this objective for a little while, gather the level 20, get that last full level of XP. Oh, there you go. Last Sunday was my... okay, thanks, 7th Ace. I appreciate the follow-up. Well, then I will hit every day this week then, because I'm casting tomorrow too. So the channel was started here. It's going to be just a few seconds beginning onto the control point. ETC is going to get the Chastise onto Greymane, but Uther going in with the D-Storm. There is going to be the Mosh Pit. Uther going to be the one to fall. Doesn't have the Redemption. He's not level 20, so he's not coming back. But the Anduin did get taken out as well. There's the Sanctification. ETC coming in, getting the Power Slide. G-Money Drums getting very low on the Greymane. Is not quite going to get the kill, but Blaze will. So once again, a 1-for-1 trade here. Newbie very low on the Tyrael, having to pull back. As Falstad still on the chase, looking for the kill onto ETC. And now we see level 20s here for Wholesome Halfwits. And Blaze trying to gather them all so that Ana can maybe sneak around there and gather the channel. So we're going to see this percentage now beginning for Wholesome Halfwits. It's Blaze and Ana with Falstad in the lane. So they've got a fairly balanced team here as opposed to the ETC Chromie Tyrael. A little bit less balanced, not as much, you know, getting some poke would certainly stall them out, cause problems. And I like this play. Picking up the Siege Camp. There's still 30 seconds. Now there's no Vala, there's no Greymane, so both teams missing their big burst damage. And with that, we're going to see the pullback. Wholesome Halfwit's going to come back, get onto their Siege Camp. As level 20 is available here for Goodbye Forever. It is going to be that death metal, so got to be really careful about the positioning of the ETC. I mentioned it in game number 1 on Infernal Shrines, that ETC was looking to die, wanted to die so that they could set up the play. You know what? That could be it. Could be it, Megmuffin. We do have that bunker again. It's going to be the Quicksilver bullets for the... Right? Isn't that what it is? Hunter's Blunderbuss. Quicksilver's level 7. Derp. So this is the fight. And right now, I mean, Wholesome Halfwits can play this a little bit slow. They've got the camp going in mid. ETC's going to get the Mosh. Going to get interrupted, though. Sanctification coming out along with the Protect. Uther, however, going to fall. Does have Redemption, so will be back. Bunker coming out. Gets that armor. Has the Rain of Vengeance. It's going to be ETC following the Death Mosh onto 2. Make it 3. Uther coming back right in the middle of it here. Big Divine Storm. Can they get the kill on Anduin? They cannot. Instead, it's going to be Greymane going down. 3 kills in trade for just the ETC. And Goodbye Forever is going to get back on the channel here. This Siege Camp is going to get some value into this lane. But they got to, I mean, they got to get more. I feel like they have to get more because all the team will be up to defend by the time this is done. Especially if Falstad walks in and stops it. Chromie doing a lot of damage, though. And if Falstad dies here, that becomes a big problem. But that stall... I mean, that stall may very well give them everything. I mean, the wall is down here. There's still this Reaver. The camp died, but there's damage up in the top. Even this objective gets no value at this point. It's going to be so pushed in. There's so much for it to do in the mid and the top lane that bot lane is the only place it gets any value. And even then, it can be cleared with relative ease. So ETC is going to start here. They're going to get the lane cleared up a bit. There's a Siege Camp in the middle as well. By the way, Valkymer, I totally blame this on you, saying you wanted to see the longest Alterac pass game in history. So it may yet happen. But with this cavalry, I mean, if Goodbye Forever can find some kills, it turns into games. So Wholesome Halfwits need to be cautious about their positioning. All the ultimates are going to be on the table for whatever fight comes next. We see top stalling up there as it was pushed very far back. It's not going to take a lot of damage, but it means that they have time to clear it. Although they haven't really put any damage into these things. Jet propulsion coming in doesn't manage to hit anything. We see the Hinterland's blast going out as well. Not quite able to get anything there either. Bunker coming out, having that 50 armor, but ETC is going to power slide in, looking for the blaze. They're going to take out that first keep, and the War Rider is going to be taken out. The Wolf Rider coming into the bot lane now with this one. Should be able to get the second keep, especially if they get that solid mosh. They're going to get the kill onto Dr. Sigelli. I'm not sure if he has redemption. He probably does. Sanctification's going to come out, allow them to secure the second keep. And these dominoes are starting to fall into place. Is Uther gone? Uther's gone. So no redemption. Onto the core. It only has the 20 armor. They still have one of the Wolf Riders here. Blaze in the back, trying to do what he can, pops that Pyromania to survive. They get the kill onto the ETC, so if Blaze can stall them out long enough, maybe they can make something happen here, but Falstad getting chunked by the Chromie Sandblast here, and there's enough of a wave in top lane that may actually take out that top keep. I don't want to take a look at it here. And if that top keep goes down, this game is all but over. But Greymane, Falstad on it, gonna be enough. And they're going to secure, they're going to clear this keep. So there you go. Boss, however, is a big threat. With 2 keeps down, 1 very close. In fact, in all seriousness, I think it would be just as good for them to take this boss, zip around to top lane, finish off that keep. Or just go to get the other boss, because they'll have ETC in time for that. This has to be dealt with, because this will end the game. Boss on core with 2 keeps down will win it. They are going to go for the siege camp, so the siege camp, I think this was not the right call. I think the right call was the boss. The siege camp is just a short delay. They're going to be able to clear this out relatively quickly. And that gives them maybe enough time to get to the boss. I don't know how quickly they can burn that boss. We'll see. We'll see how quickly it's coming. They're on their way. Boss is sitting at half health. They're just saying, you know what? We gotta go. If we don't go, we lose this game for sure. The boss is going down pretty quickly here up in top. Falstad still sitting back behind is gonna be too late. I think this is game. Especially since that boss is already doing damage here, unless they can find some massive kill pressure. ETC falling very low here. The nano blast not quite able to land. The protect keeping ETC alive. The divine storm missing. He is going to go down, but so is ETC. Uther, I think, will be back. And he's back. And again, all the while here, this siege camp living for Wholesome Halfwits. They're chasing down. This is a problem. They cannot leave this. Like, that's going to be the game if they don't get back. They're chasing kills. They're trying to get this objective, but they're ignoring this boss. It has no armor. Do they even know this? Falstad is not enough. I don't think it's enough. Maybe it's enough. Sanctification going out. So they are going to be able to stall that out. 28 seconds here on the objective. So the core is beginning to regenerate. I think that they could have won the game if they just went with that boss. Honestly, they could have just pulled back, said, oh, you want this objective? That's fine. We're going to go for the boss. Or the core, rather. They're going to get the kill this time for definite onto the Uther here. Nano Blast is going to hit. Big damage coming out from that boomerang. Protect is going out, but it's not going to matter. The core going down to the Winions, and GG going over to goodbye forever. And yeah, so yes, a boss onto the core can win the game. A boss with 2 keeps down can win the game. A boss with 1 keep down cannot win the game. And it also probably depends on how many, how are the minions stacked. So it could have been a big problem, but what I was saying there with that top lane boss, if the top lane boss was going, you have still 4 heroes instead of the 5th, the ETC was gone. I mean, that core was at like 8k. What are they gonna do? You show up, there's no shielding, it's done. So I'm gonna just pop off 2 quick questions here if I can get. Let's see. I'm gonna ask non-champion if they want to do a quick interview, just 2 questions. Just to give them some opportunity to shout outs, basically. And then I'll get set up here. I've got the stuff for our next game. Do-do. All right. So we're going to get things set up here. I've got the information from the teams for our next match, so I'm going to start typing that stuff in while we get Thundercats in here real quick.
Hey, Arrow.
Hey there! Congratulations on your victory.
Thank you so much. It was a bit of a nail-biter, if you were able to tell.
Yeah, I gathered that. So I just want to ask you just a couple of quick questions here, just to give you guys, a little bit of recognition for your win here. So
thank you very much.
Yeah, so the first question was Deathwing made it through the bans, I think all 3 games. How do you feel about him? And when you saw him on the other team, was it did you have any concerns over that, or was it just like, whatever?
I think it was whatever. We're not really that scared of Deathwing. We hover around that Diamond Masters MMR, right around that lip there. I hear the Deathwing's a real tear if you go higher and higher, but we haven't been too intimidated, and it's been working out so far, letting him through the draft.
Sure, okay. And then, so obviously we're going to skip all the way to game number 3. That was a much longer game than I thought I expected at the beginning, but it had some back and forth. Both teams had some pressure. Walk me through the end of that game and what your guys' comms are like dealing with the fact that you got a boss, then you, I think, made the mistake stopping at the siege camp, but that's just my opinion. Then you go to the top boss, and then you lose a hero, like the objective's up. Like, what are things going through your team's mind as those things are falling into place?
I think the tension really set in when we won a fight and the objective was up. And they had 2 heroes still alive. I think it was Falstad and Ana, maybe. And we were sort of a little bit torn in the comms. Do we go for the objective? Do we go for bot boss? Do we defend our keep? Because they had a merc camp pushing. Ultimately, we decided just to get the objective. But there was definitely, that's when the decisions got hard. After that, as you say, there was the bot boss, mid camp, top boss. It's a whole sequence of events. We decided to get the mid camp because they had a camp pushing mid, and we thought that we'd lose our keep if we didn't take that. We also wanted to wait for our ETC to be alive. It may still have been a mistake, but that was just our rationale as we were going through it.
And
then
that's
finally,
fair, yeah.
we arrived top. We traded, we thought 1 for 1, but then Uther comes back. That's something you always got to keep in mind, and we didn't really when we were in the midst of the fight, so we felt quite pressured after that. But fortunately, the bosses, the keeps being down, was what let us win in the end. Thank you, Winions.
Indeed. Well, the boss getting that keep down, and then the core was already very low. They waited a little too long to send Falstad back for that, but it is what it is. You guys played a great match. Want to give you the opportunity for shout outs here so that I can get on to our next game.
Thanks so much. Sorry that I just ranted there a bunch at you. The adrenaline's still going. First and foremost, thank you for casting. I really appreciate it. I didn't think there was going to be an interview, so I'm not prepared at all, but thanks for having me. Thank you to my team. Great series. Well played, boys. Shout out to our opponents. Holy crap. I don't know if I've had my heart rate this high in a while, and I go to the gym a lot. So, well done, boys. Well done. Look forward to seeing you later in the tournament. I'm sure that'll happen eventually. Thank you, NGS. Thank you to anyone who's out there in the audience, and everybody have a wonderful night. It's always a good night of heroes.
All right. Well, thanks very much for joining me. Have a great night. Enjoy your victory. Don't forget to report your match, and yeah, feel free to stop by and watch the next game here. It's going to be Better Than Bots versus Can't Counterpick Stupid, a Division C
Awesome.
West match.
Good luck to those guys, and thank you one more time, Arrow. Have a good one.
You too. Alrighty, we're going to flash real quick over to the pregame screen just so that I've got a cut for a couple of seconds, and then we'll do the intro, and then we'll be right back because the teams are all ready. We've got everything set up, so don't go away. We'll be back in just a moment.